Well, this should be fun. By the way, I'll have to hop out of here in a little bit to get my coffee because I don't have my coffee, but here we run on the show. It's brewing at the moment.
What's most stupid in the air? Never
And if
fear,
you're still here, hello,
here is
Nakoti.
time to break up the atmosphere. Hang out in your echo chambers. I don't
Hello,
care if I will bring
Nightwolf.
some logic there.
Hello, Ironton Otter.
What
Terry.
fantasies can we derive? Let's make up things for YouTube viewers is my drive, but my words often divide. Nothing ever makes any sense. Things I can't conceive, though they are based in reality. From my mind, I must hide. It is my specialty. Well, trust me, but I deceive you. You know this, so you what I say must exist. Because the only thing left for you is to face reality. Reality. That this thing might real, so a fantasy I will make up just so I can deal. What can it be that changes all this? I know I will blame the government, but what is this? God or science has tossed in another wrench. Never fair, Zuzuza is here. It's time to break up the atmosphere. Hang out in your echo chambers. I don't care, but I will bring some logic there. What fantasies can we derive? Let's make up things for YouTube viewers. It's my drive, but my words often divide. Nothing ever makes any sense. Things I can't conceive, though they are based in reality. From my mind, I must hide. It is my specialty. You trust me, but I deceive you. You know this, but for you, when I say it must exist, because the only thing left for you is to face reality. It terrifies me that this thing might real, so a fantasy I will make up just so I can deal. What can it be that changes all this? I know I will blame the government, but what is this? God or science has tossed in another wrench. I just can't accept reality. An explanation I must see. So God has been changed by the authority. This is crazy, yes I know. It is why I run a show. Through all the lies and the bullshit, sometimes just a crazy nitwit. If I need to, I will go. Some think it's disrupting the show. I didn't pick the topic. You just don't like my logic. Never fear. Your flying penguin is here. This might hurt for the truth is near. My tactic might be a little off, but I have a way to get my point across. Sometimes it is better to just give it a simple soft toss. In the dim glow of midnight screens, Zuzuza pride skepticism keen. Stares down the rabbit hole, eyes ablaze, where shadows whisper secrets twisted made. They've heard the whispers of lizard kings, flat earth maps, chemtrails hitting wings. But the mind is a fortress, walls of fact, built on broken logic, unyielding pact. Against the tide to misinformation, they stand a lighthouse on jagged shores of quicksand. They'll trump the stars, debunk the moon's slave. The truth of was the compass guiding their way. Informed dark or echo chambers pride. They will Gotham's wrist, a sharp and alive. Conspiracy theorists hurl wild claims, yet our penguin counters with evidence flames. Terrifies to me allure the fringe, where secret societies dance, shadows binge, but they'll sift through data, past the noise, unmask illusions, expose the decoys. Basements where theorists huddle, they'll emerge a penguin, ready to muddle the murky waters of half-baked tales. With reason's sword, they'll pierce the veils. They'll debate moon landings over coffee cups, while sipping skepticism from truth's chalice. For every YouTube guru peddling lies, they'll pull out research, facts that rise. Never fear, the skeptic penguin rides forth with truth by his side. They'll tilt out windmills, chouse with memes, their lance logic isn't through streets. And so our penguin tackles a cognitive dissonance, a loss of reason against the time's insistence. For truth, my friend, isn't always feature grand, such a quiet whisper in a noisy land.
Hello, my name is Zerzu Zyklin. Welcome to the channel. How's everybody doing? So I got a little bit of a fun show for you guys tonight. I had to wait quite a bit in the background primarily because I wanted to make sure that I was going up on the gauntlet as before the gauntlet, it's only questions to the debaters themselves. And, I wanted to have some fun and not necessarily engage in that primarily because I'm going to have to admit it. I was a little bit of a title snob and I still am a little bit of a title snob. And I'll explain that. So I had refused throughout last night's show to define objective versus subjective. And that's because I just got through watching like 2 hours of people repeating the same exact words over and over again. So I am going to try my best without looking it up. I'm just going to try right off the top of my head to explain the difference. Objective would be something that is independent of an outside observer. So it doesn't matter if a cat sees it, dog sees it, any type of animal or human, it's going to remain the same. Subjective is dependent on the viewer. So an animal may see one thing, but a human will see something entirely different. Now, there's an easy way to describe this and how it can be conflated as one or the other. A fallen tree. A fallen tree objectively has fallen. No matter what animal walks past it or human, or even if nobody walks past it, it absolutely objectively has fallen. Now to say, now that tree has fallen, it's going to rot into soil. Now that is subjective, and I'm sure a lot of people would argue with me that it's not because a tree is going to rot into soil. Well, that is your outside opinion. You don't know if the tree had started to rot before it had fallen. Anyway, so I was a little bit picky on the subject primarily because of the laws of logic. So there's 3 laws of logic. You have identity. We're going to set that aside for a second. And then you have excluding the middle and removing the confounding variables. Well, I'm a bit picky on tonight's title because so morality can be, you can either argue is it objective or subjective. But reasoning over here, if you go through objective morality can exist without God through reasoning can be objective or subjective, I would imagine. And reasoning could explain morality. Morality also could explain reasoning, and evolution or natural law could go against morality. These are individual confounding topics that don't necessarily need to be there. And if we look for, well, once we start removing the confounding topics and the variables, or the I just said it a minute ago. Anyway, we end up with an identity of the subject that we want to talk about. We don't want to talk about reason because reason, we could actually argue if reason is reasonable if you want, or if evolution and reason match or anything like that. However, if we look at this title, we find within it an identity. Morality can exist without God. We can remove through reason, evolution, or natural law. Those are all the confounding variables. We can remove objective. That would be a confounding variable. And we could just stick with the meat of the topic. So that's what I tried to do. And of course, nobody really liked that. I go up. I'm not saying that I'm being picked on. I go up and I make my own mess. I intend to make my mess. I'm kind of that way. You guys know that. I'm having a lot of fun, man. Sarah's channel is great. I like it because it gives me, of course, a chance to argue these topics. Now I am going to start with later in the evening because there's quite a bit of video coming up. I'm going to start with later in the evening when the only time most of the people agreed with what I was saying on the panel. Of course, because if that's the only time most of the people agreed with what I was saying on the panel, then I want that to kind of be front and center. Why not?
If she's transgender, that means she got rid of the fucking womb.
No,
Not necessarily.
Not
No.
necessarily.
That's what
It
it
doesn't matter.
means.
This is-
Literally.
No,
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 that's
it
your
doesn't mean
limited
that at all.
idea of what it means.
not
It's not
even close.
limited, bro. That means
Not
she
even
Sure it is.
trans.
You're only
Not
assuming
gender.
that she
She
went
transitioned.
completely and removed the womb and
transitioned.
everything.
If she transitioned, that means she got rid of the womb and
No.
put a little penis down there.
No, they
bro.
just call themselves. It doesn't matter. You just call yourself.
But that
Put it on
doesn't
a
mean that
dress.
she's
It's
a
simple.
baby.
Surgically,
If she got rid of the womb, she got rid of the thing that has the
Not
ability
all
to-
Transgender
trans
could
men
just
wanna
simply
do
be
that.
a breast. Transgender could
wrong.
just simply be a
wrong.
breast or
Trans-
taking
transgender can
hormones.
just be you
It
wearing a
doesn't
dress and calling
necessarily
yourself. If
require.
I put on, I can let my
Hold
hair
dude.
down and put on a
Listen,
dress and
but
call
before
myself.
you just go
in LA.
crazy here, Zers, okay? I agree with you that it's not a man, okay? I understand that part. But if it's a
Hey, God's favorite
transgender,
aunt, how
that
are
means
you?
they got rid of the sexual organ that allows them
Doesn't
to do
mean
that.
they got. Yeah, I was saying this is about the only point everybody ever agreed with me is the point when we were talking about the womb. You could be transgender. You just you could remove the top part and not the bottom. You know, rid
No,
of
it
the
doesn't.
womb.
No, shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. Stop being a retard.
I shut up for like half.
No, you
Go
didn't.
on,
You
sir.
didn't. No, you waited for like
so to
5
be a
seconds. and then
transgender
it's,
woman, does the
Yeah.
guy have to cut off his ding-a-ling?
yeah, that's
No.
called transitioning.
No, he doesn't.
Dude.
That's called surgically transition.
Yeah, no shit.
No, dude, this is-
Sure.
Not
No,
all
not
transitions
all
are surgical.
It means they
transition,
can't
bro.
All this
perform
and
the
take control of this
sexual
room.
function anymore. If you get rid of the part, you can't do
Yeah,
that
no
thing
shit.
anymore.
If you-
Hello,
if you have the
Susie is
surgery,
me.
right?
So you
That's-
can't have a
yeah.
baby.
What's the percentage
he said
of them
that a
that would actually have the
transgender
surgery?
man, which is a woman who removed the womb, can have a fucking
Right.
baby. No, she can't. She got rid of
Nobody's
the fucking
saying they
womb.
can.
Actually, the
No,
study
Zers
says.
did.
hold
Zers
on.
said that.
The study
That's
says
not what he
very
said.
specifically. The study says very specifically if she still has if the transgender male still has the womb, then they
There
can
it
have a baby. It very specifically
is.
states that.
I
Yeah.
just stated to
So
you
the womb
that a
is still there.
transgender male, which is a
I'm
woman,
with you, Omar.
someone who literally got rid of the fucking
Not
womb.
always. They don't all do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize
very
that there
small
was something
percentage
else they
actually
could
You're
have
the
do.
a
only
surgery.
ding dong on panel
Hey,
arguing that.
A very
I think-
small
look,
percentage,
There's-
Clay,
what-
actually
so if
have
they
the
get rid of the
surgery.
titties, is that a transgender man?
The surgery
It's
is
a matter
very
of
dangerous for women.
I would answer yes, but there's so many people talking right now.
Self-identification.
Going to men,
Oh my
like
God.
transgender
You're
males. That's
missing the
women
fucking
going
point.
to
You're
becoming
missing
men.
the fucking point.
That
Zers-
bottom
hold on,
surgery is
hold on,
very
hold on. You're missing-
dangerous.
hold
Why
on,
do you
hold
keep
on,
calling
hold
out
on.
me? You're the only one
Cover me.
making this argument.
Because
Everybody
you
is
need to be
arguing
able to
against
tell you
me
what the fuck
or
I'm
against
trying to
you.
say.
Why
What you're
do you
doing
keep
is
calling
just
me
interrupting
out?
because you know that you're fucking wrong. This is
Everybody
why you're
else is wrong too
because
then,
you know
fucker.
you're fucking wrong.
That was a lot of fun. Anyway, let's say hello to some people. Hello, Nightwolf. Good to come in. Good to see you coming in. Anyway, we're gonna go on. This is quite long, and like I said, most of the night people didn't agree with me, and I understand that. I come in with a contrarian view. You guys might notice that there's been times when I have argued with a very Christian standpoint or a non-Christian standpoint, and this one I am holding neither. I am just holding the standpoint of morality, and morality can exist without God. And I have a little example, which now in this, people have a hard time with the length of time that I'm taking to describe my example. Now I could just go in there and say, was that a moral act and did God guide my hand? Unfortunately, if I don't tell you my personal story of my personal interaction, there's no way you could answer those two questions. The only way for you to possibly be able to answer those two questions is to hear the full story. Now, I have a question here with the problem that, oh, you're taking so long to explain it. If that is a long time, you can't possibly tell me you've read the Bible. If that's boring, you can't possibly tell me you've read the Bible. I'm going to grab some coffee if the coffee's done.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Here goes.
All right.
Oh, and I
fourth-
started this, the first part of this, the reason why I have the first part of this and I am not involved in it, we'll keep hearing the word. If you listen, we'll keep hearing objective, subjective, objective, freaking subjective. Jesus, can we just talk about a meaty subject, such as can morality exist? Or morality can, is my position, exist without God. Not saying that God exists or not, just simply saying morality itself is independent of objectivity. It only determines good or bad. It determines right or wrong, but it doesn't discriminate between the two. It only points out that there could be good objectivity or good morality and bad morality. The morality is what happens to your outside environment, such as if you give somebody back their phone, are they happy they got it back? Things like that. If you lose your ID, are you happy somebody gave it back? That's where morality is included. Now, if it's just something random, there's no morality there.
Wiseman sends the Big Ten. Which WWE are you referencing? Clay. I've got a wet pocket. Can't stay long. Very busy. Hi, everyone.
That would be, I don't know which we. Yeah,
I said WWE. Sorry. I mean, we.
Hey, you know what? That's a we could reference here, right? They've got their own morality. I mean, you see those guys come on. I mean, where's Gibbs when you need him, right? But seriously, like all the wees out here, there's like, I don't know, countless wees, right? I got a wee, right? The wee that's in my I might have a wee in my head. All that stuff. Right? But in reality, right?
No, you also have no ideas.
One mind. This is actually why I don't believe in what do they call it? Multitasking. Because you only got one mind. Right? There ain't no we. It's just you and then everybody else. You're on your own.
Fair enough. Andy sends a Big Ten, says objective comes from objectum, a thing thrown before or that to which an activity is addressed. So you can have material objects or formal objects, not just something you can weigh and measure. Any thoughts?
And this is what I mean. This was quite a while into the stream, by the way, a good hour into repeatedly. Everybody up there had defined objective basically the same way. Now, the idea here is if two or more people can agree on what objective is, then they can guide the rest of the idiots if they don't understand what objectivity is.
Thoughts to that?
This is an etymology fallacy, and I fucking hate them. Just because you can call something a villain. Oh, so villains are poor people, because that's actually what the etymology of what villain comes from. It comes from villa, meaning some poor dude. That's not the use case that exists now. So we should dismiss etymology. It can be interesting historically and anthropologically speaking, but it doesn't inform the way that the words are currently being used.
I actually very much agree with you on this point. Now, it's interesting because if you actually look at the Latin words in their original form, that translation doesn't do justice to what we use the current language for, right?
I do not consent.
The translations never get it right. We do the best we can with what we mean, and we tend to understand each other the best we can. But even just us speaking back and forth in English, we still don't understand what each other means. And so when we're talking specifically about definitions, that's why it's so important to extrapolate out exactly what we mean, especially when we're talking about the ought claims, because then maybe we can reach a better, more reasonable standard. But in all reality, is it objective or is it perfect? If you're looking for perfection, I don't see it coming.
Is that Andy, the philosopher guy?
Mm-hmm. I love Andy.
You're fucking awesome. I love you, dude. And that doesn't. And mind independent means that it's an
I can't say too much. That'd be like calling the kettle black. I can definitely get into some long diatribes, but usually there's a reason behind it. I'm trying to not only lay out the foundation of what I'm saying, but also come to a conclusion and ask a question at the same time.
An object. That means anybody can, it's just there. It doesn't exist in your mind.
Hold on.
So, and it can be weighed and measured. Yeah.
Is no one gonna suck my dick for that village etymology?
No, every time he said that, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dudes and 1 chick. I mean, what about this panel is making you think about that constantly? I'm just giving the guy a little rub.
That I just came up with.
I was
off the top of my head.
Oh, careful how I say that.
That was pretty fucking on point and cool.
I'm not going to do that part, but I did give you the kudos, and I
Thank you. I
actually
appreciate
piggybacked right
That's
off
all
of
I'm
it.
looking for.
Hey,
Yeah, I
Clay,
just think
it's not gay if you
Yeah,
work well.
sorry, say that one more time.
And that's
I
part
told
of my
Clay it's not
problem with the entire panel is they just kept talking about objective, subjective, objective. Oh my god. Oh my god, let's talk about something else. How about throw some reason or evolution or natural law in there? How about we remove all of that crap, make them individual debates upon themselves. Is reason objective or subjective? Is morality objective or subjective? We can make those individual debates. We don't have to put so many confounding variables into. Gish Gallop is exactly what I was telling Tom. This title itself gives room for anybody to gish gallop any direction they wish away from the meat. Morality can exist without God.
He wears gloves, so
There you go. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, to
think
kind of like
it's-
piggyback off this,
It's
like a good
It's always
practice
funny when
in
people try to
any-
claim inherent knowledge in language. I mean, languages are wild. Languages are weird. Like especially Japanese. If you ever hear literally what Japanese people are saying to each other. I mean, that language is so. The same word in Japanese for ex-wife is the same word for appetizer.
Yeah,
It's fucking weird.
I mean, they have fart demons in that culture. A lot
Oh,
of
Jesus.
their stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but before we
Never
move off
knew-
this topic, a good
one super chat.
a
This
good
is all.
starting point in any discussion is if there are any terms that need to be like disambiguated for the sake of the conversation. It's good to maybe get like a
I need to set up a
reduction
game
of
night.
definition into terms that something into terms of like shared meaning.
I need to get
two or more
Clay to
people
come
have.
up.
That way, like the conversation can progress. Like if someone's saying like, "Oh yeah, this like stick over there is like really cool," and you're
It's in the
referring to
mud.
like this like kind of like you're referring to like maybe like a PVC pipe or something. People aren't really gonna like see that as a stick, but they're gonna see it as like maybe like a piece of wood as a stick. And as we kind of like get closer to what a stick means with respect to the conversation, we can then talk about said stick and then move on from there.
This is called linguistic negotiation, and it's
Yeah.
Vital to communities thriving. Anyone gonna suck my dick for that? I had another.
Oh my
definition.
god,
Wait,
this
wait,
guy.
hold on, hold on.
This
Hold on.
guy.
Wait.
God.
Fuck. God damn, I can't do it. Hold on. Wait.
What is he trying to do?
Flip it. And then high five. Let's try this.
Boom.
Brilliant. You slap Sarah in the side of the head. Anyway, we're going to continue on.
Other side,
Yeah,
other side.
What?
Sarah, I'm
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
how
flip
my-
it. You gotta
this
flip
one?
it. Yep, there we go. Yeah.
Just we
I
both,
need to flip
like
my camera
everybody
too.
just get a high five and then
Yeah.
everybody wins.
Yeah. Something like there we go. That's
Now, it was a little bit late, so I'm sure Sarah was kind of somewhat checking out a little bit.
I am not joining your gay party.
Objective
Wait, it's not
Ethics with
gay
a
to-
big at
High
20 says, I concede to Zill. I was wrong. Apparently, Zill has one friend, and that's one more than I would have thought. Shout out
Don't
to
tell-
OE.
Don't tell Objective Ethics that I just did that for the argument, and I actually don't know who that is, and she's not a fucking friend of mine.
Fair
Nice.
enough. James Farley says, Sarah Singh, do you want to build a snowman and ride our bikes around the halls? There you go. That one was stuck in my head for like the last hour.
Not yet.
I'll keep going.
It's
I'll
crazy
sing
what
all
you
the
could-
fucking Frozen songs you
Here we
did.
are back on
What we could just make you
Objective.
do for money.
Oh, don't you ever feel
Sing.
like
Be
Dance
my
Monkey
monkey.
Dance? Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys, send in donos to make panel members do stupid shit. I'll bet you can make a monkey dance up here. Dragon Fist with the big 5 says, I'm only trying to establish an objective worst case. And no, in this, there would be no growth, only suffering for every living thing.
So isn't that like the North Pole? Like if you're at the North Pole, the only direction you can go is south. Right, so that's kind of, like,
and
if you're at the objective worst case, the only place you can go is up.
Well, worst is doing all of the heavy lifting there. What do you mean by worst? Worst is typically
Yeah, I
understood
know.
to be
I
some
like
sort
that.
of normative notion.
Mhm.
That's what's doing the heavy lifting.
Good talk.
yeah.
Wow.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, that kind of killed the whole atmosphere there.
And shout out to Tootie getting a membership over here on the Gauntlet side. We love you so much, Tootie. And let's keep this membership drive going. I will count memberships gifted towards the goal. I think it's a little cheaper, but hey, it's the gift that keeps on giving and it brings people back around. So you should probably do that. It's cheaper and you can keep the show
Objectively,
going.
Dragon Fist Andrew needs to check his fucking Discord more often.
Oh,
shots fired.
he doesn't really use Discord a whole lot. I usually talk to him on either it's either IG or
AOL Instant Messenger.
X. I think he's on X too, or no, he's not on X.
AOL.
It's Instagram. Yeah, it's funny because every panelist has a different thing that they prefer. And so I could be connected to all of them, but I know which one they want to use or know which one gets their attention.
It's the most confusing shit because I'm so bad with these kind of things. And I have to sit there and think for 20 minutes and go through the different apps. Who do I talk to on this fucking, what
Yeah.
app to talk
I have
to?
a Google, or not a Google, I have an Excel sheet with
Yeah, sometimes
you and
Balderson
how I
comes up
talk
on
to you.
game night.
It's helpful, but I mean, now it's just implanted in my head.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say here. I think I'm moving on forward to
Tootie
later in the
doing the gift.
evening, probably closer to where she's going to mention her. So if you like live one-on-one debates, she's been doing this thing in Vegas where they're doing live one-on-one debates, and I figure I may as well allow that. Not allow it, of course. I'm using her stuff. I may as well at least advertise that a little bit.
That keeps on giving. Much love around. Gifting out
I
5
support
Gauntlet memberships.
not one-on-one, but
Congratulations to you,
in
lucky
person
lottery winners. And
debate.
Dragon Fist happened to be one of
Sorry,
those on the
one-on-one
receiving end.
was
So
a wrong
congrats to
description.
you,
In
sir.
person.
He kicked ass, by the
Sometimes
way.
they're
He
like
kicked
1
ass
on
in
10,
Vegas.
1 on 20, or
We just
whatever.
did the review last night. Him, Gibbs, and Shaman Omar. We all went to Vegas, kicked tons of asses, took names. The clips are amazing. And
Debated a crazy person.
yeah.
Oh man, not
but-
kidding. Now, as far as that numerology thing, the guy had this little trick where he wanted to throw a whole bunch of money on the table and keep challenging people to all go out there and all accurately predict 6 people on the street or something. How about you remove all that money from the table? I'll put down $6. You pick out a lottery number using numerology because it's a number, numbers. You pick me out a lottery number. If I win, you can keep all that lottery and I still have to give you another $6 so that we're all even. Or if you lose, you have to pay me the entire lottery winning. Sounds like a good bet if you're a numerologist.
We, Andrew and myself, are going back at the end of July for more debates. We've got Brian Shapiro, Dr. William James, I believe his name is, and Andrew isn't staying for the third one, but I'm moderating all of them. And the
Hello,
third one is
Nightwolf.
Jake
Not sure if I said hello to you already.
Barsatella. He's doing the
You're
debate
good.
con one too, but I can't remember how to say his last name. But we'll be there at the end of July for all of those. So if you are a panelist and a regular of mine and you are interested in going to Vegas for any of the upcomings, I do have more of the roster of who you can debate and the dates for those. Reach out to me and we'll get you set up with Sean for that. Shout out to Andy with the Big Ten. He says, etymological fallacy means treating a word's present meaning as fixed by history. The material/formal distinction is not an etymological claim. Am I saying that word wrong?
Yeah, etymological.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Etymological.
Claim at
You're
all. It's a distinction. I'm not parsing OBR.
I don't know what that last thing is.
Obisser.
I don't know what that last
Obisser?
thing is. But this is to me, so I think I should respond if that's
Okay.
You are treating a word's present meaning as fixed by history because you were using its origin to notify you about its current usage. And anyone who studies anything about etymology knows that that doesn't work. You can't do that. You can't. I could throw 1,000 examples. I already gave the village example, and no one sucked my dick for it, so I'm not going to give a second example.
My God, again,
Ryan, do you
dude.
like, really want your dick sucked tonight? Is that what's going on?
Apparently,
Maybe. It would be nice.
Have you ever met a dude that said no to that?
Yeah, come on.
It's also not the word's origin. It's an
Hold on, though.
arbitrary point in its evolution.
But
Well,
hold on, though. He is on a panel full of mainly men and only one female.
Right
And he's
there.
explaining
Now you got
that he
cloud
wants-
over here.
Oh,
And Cloud
homophobe
Head is a
nudge.
good housewife.
If
I
I
will take
True,
I-
true
good
that.
head is good head.
That is
all
right.
if I can, Hunter, okay, this issue really revolves around the etymology. Villa, violent, vile, right? These are the V words that you will find if you actually go back and you look at these etymologies.
They
You're
come
going to
from
find
Villa.
some interesting things and
Yeah.
interesting correlations of the ideals behind them. What Latin did, it's interesting, is they used a lot of the Roman numerals for their letters too. So it's not just the etymology itself, but the numerology that goes into the ideals behind the words that they used. So it's when you're talking about etymological fallacy, and you're
Catch
specifically
a big one,
referencing
man.
the
Catch a
Latin,
big one.
uh,
Yeah, you should
you're
come
gonna need
back
to
and check
actually
this
look
out
into
later. I get
numerology
in there and have a little bit
behind
of fun.
certain.
No, I don't. You don't have to.
Even that is a slice in time.
You shouldn't
Even that is a
refer to
slice
the
in time.
history at all. It
If
doesn't
you're
matter
going
the
to
current
look at
usage.
etymological fallacy,
You shouldn't be. Wait, hold on. If you look, this is the base claim I'm making. If
Yes.
you want to understand how a word is being used today, the etymology will tell you zero. You have to be looking at how current speakers are.
Yes.
I
agree with you on this.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry.
Yes, what I'm
I'm
talking
just stupid.
about.
I'm
what
sorry
is-
that I got fighting.
No,
words
it's
with
fine. What I'm talking about is his claim
Happens a
right
lot.
here, and yeah, I agree that what he's doing, he's
Threat
trying
getting threatened with a
to sense
blowjob.
it.
He's froggy now.
Um, if you're sorry, Clay, if you're watching, I just realized if you're watching over on Objective Ethics side or Vibe side, I do need to disconnect because this is Gauntlet and I never know what's going to happen. So if anything bad happens, I don't want to be on the phone trying to call them sporadically, like go shut it down, private it. Okay, so if you're watching on either of these ends, you want to continue watching, come over to at the Gauntlet debate. That's the Gauntlet on YouTube. Come over here and we'll continue on. Otherwise, I do need to disconnect. We love you so much and thanks for hanging with us tonight. Alrighty then. Back to you, Clay. I apologize.
Sure, yeah, and like I said, I was just trying to make sure to distinguish
Oh, why'd she send it back to Clay? I'm kidding.
between the etymological part versus the usage today, right? So yes, we're gonna want to actually examine etymology when we're establishing definitions. This is actually very
Why?
true.
Why?
Yeah, you have to.
Why? What are we talking
To-
about?
to-
Right.
Because
yeah,
I don't want to refer to a hammer as a flugenbeglagel.
Hold on.
That doesn't make sense.
Because
not
the
gonna be
reason
able
why
to
that doesn't
communicate.
make sense is because social convention determines that's not what we
Right.
call hammers.
Right.
You don't have to
So
understand
I call a village
Sure
a
you
villa
do.
Hold on,
because
hold
of
on,
the
hold on.
etymology.
Hold on.
We
You know, going on his hammer idea, and again, going back to the etymology of the word objective. So earlier, I think it was Balderson was mentioning that a rock's objectively a rock. Objectively a rock. I have to make sure not to put an S in between that. Anyway, and as far as the hammer, so let's say it's a rock hammer. It is only subjective that it's a rock hammer, and I can explain that. If animals walk by it in the forest, just lying there, all they will see is a rock, a strangely shaped rock. We, as the outside observer, call it a rock hammer because we know what it's used for.
Hold on. Tell me right now what the etymology of hammer is.
If the original,
That's what I mean. I didn't want to keep getting into the etymology of this one single word when there's a whole lot more to that topic. Of course, there's other parts of that topic like reason, and there's one core piece of that topic that I can identify, and I'd like to get to that, and not play around with etymology. Sure, it's a fun word to say.
You
derived
have
from
to
like
know what the
cracking
etymology
skulls. Will that change you how you use it to beat in nails? No, like the history of a word doesn't matter as far as its current use. It's only its history. It's only how it links to the past and history.
Why are we investigating etymology at all?
Good question. I was just asking that. Anyway, I think I'm going
and I don't
forward
see
to
that.
a little bit
I don't see
before I
that as
joined, I hope.
necessary either. Again, I brought this up. The morality hinges on good and bad, right and wrong, right? And of course, there's the other words that we have for good and bad, which is worse, worst, better, best, right? And when you're talking about good and bad, okay, specifically good and bad, or right and wrong, now we're talking about a viewpoint discrimination, right? This is where I brought up LMS in high school. When
that's like maybe one.
I think I made my point that they keep talking about.
But objective means not.
See, I mean, I fast forwarded it to anywhere and within seconds. Objective. So I'm gonna maybe skip just a little bit forward to we're closer to me joining. I didn't realize I had that much included. Oh, there we go. There's Z up there.
I don't know what's wrong with that
Well,
guy.
I was wrong.
Jobs
Thank you,
being
Clay.
good are not universally true. Apparently, that's not
Okay,
correct.
but there are three things going on here.
I'm also going to slide away for a second. So if a penguin shows up, I had something I wanted to say, but not present, I guess. AFK. I'm trying to rush back as fast as I can.
I'm going to use an example. It's not the best example, but there's the thing, the measured, the measurer, and then the thing itself. And the thing itself that you keep using is the rock. And the thing itself, if you have a particular metaphysic, like let's say you're a Christian, you say that thing itself is measured by a divine intellect. And if you don't have that, then you have to say it's a bare fact that that thing exists. Then there are two other facts beyond that. And this is where the example, I'm going to just kind of make this up. So it's similar to Aquinas' example he uses. But let's say think of a house, right? The house is standing between the architect's mind and the mind of someone observing the house that was built. And so relative to the architect, the house is measured by the formal idea he has of the house in his mind, or the blueprints, right? It's a good or correct house, or true to the idea he has insofar as it matches the plan that's in his mind. Relative to an observer, though, the house...
Oh my God, Alley Cat, you're fucking AC!
Oh yeah, I hate my voice too. And people are like, "Oh, your voice." I'm like, "Well, don't tell me, man."
We all saw that, right?
I even hit
I didn't say
the
sorry, I said no.
I even hit the background
We couldn't
button.
tell what you were saying because you were muted.
Is your wife vacuuming back there?
Doing nothing.
Somebody boot him and get Omar up here.
Yeah, I've got Zers and Omar. I know Omar's a fan favorite on this topic. So if you want to boot the air conditioning man.
Here, I'll spare Alley Cat. I gotta bounce anyways. I appreciate you having me, Sarah, as always.
Oh!
Brandon, it was nice to meet you, Brandon.
Sorry, guys. You guys are going to have to listen to the AC.
Well, we've got two backstage anyway, so somebody could still boot AC.
Not
That's true.
personal.
All right,
Thank
see
you
you
so
guys.
much, Brandon. It was a pleasure having you up again.
Thank you, Sarah. See you guys.
All right,
I'll
Zers is
step down
next
too.
in. Who's that?
I
Andy?
my point was, the whole doctrine of objectivity, it's changed in recent years, but for the majority of the West, there's this idea that direction is objectivity, and it depends on the direction of measurement. And so that can still leave room for what we would call subjective, but it's still called objective. So I think there's just a lot of crosstalk and terminology here, and that probably needs to get pinned down.
Oh, actually, before you go, actually, I do understand that, and I do know that that's a thing, and I actually kind of agree with it. So subjectivity exists in the mind, but objectivity existing outside of the mind would be a goal, right? So that's why even in philosophy, and that's why OE kept bringing it up. It's the goal, what we're reaching for, what we're striving for. So whatever that high top of the pyramid is, right? When we get to that tippy top, that's it. There's nothing else. And so I do agree with that concept, but this concept, in my humble opinion, cannot exist without God.
Okay.
It can exist in one direction without God.
Could I?
Fair enough.
Objective ethics kept saying that like the goal can be subjective, but then how to get there is objective. That's just subjective.
Oh, I like that.
Ethics, right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
Yeah.
And also
yeah.
just
So
from a
like for
measurement-
instance, like Ben was saying earlier, like a rock is still a rock, right? A tree still exists whether we're there to see it, correct? But how we perceive the tree or perceive the rock would still be subjective. So objectivity and subjectivity can play well with each other, just depending on how the sentence is formulated.
Which way
And
is
then
up?
also
Which
the
way
whole
down?
measurement statement. The measurement is also subjective. The rock is the rock, whether you're measuring it in kilograms, pounds, it always is what it was. And so all those other things are for you to figure out your juxtaposition with it. And that way you can form your subjective opinions.
Well, I
I literally just no. I think that's what that's so objective.
Now Sarah ends up booting me here in a moment, and I don't blame her. I guess. So basically, I had been sitting back there for well over an hour, and once I got up, there was several people that were continuing on, and I noticed Omar popped in, and I knew Omar was going to immediately start talking, so I kind of wanted to get my point out there, so I did absolutely interrupt everybody, and unfortunately, I tried to use a little bit of humor, and it was poorly timed, poorly executed. It was just poor in every form.
Activity is just being on the measured end of that relation.
I think that's what my penguin was about to say.
So why is a rock? Because the Christian would just say, oh, because that's the divine mind that created the rock, and he has a blueprint in his mind of it, right? Then how do we know it's a rock? Well, we can be mistaken if we call it a clod of dirt, because there's an actual blueprint that is being measured against, right? So that's what objectivity is, a measured relation. And it can go in two directions.
Like the difference of a diamond and an emerald, right? We can actually take the rocks and compare them to see what kind of rock they are, and then actually classify them. Of course, now we've got the language to do
They're
that.
still
but the
damn
diamond
rocks,
is
dude. They're
different
still
from the emerald.
damn rocks. They're individual
I mean,
types of
but
damn
none of
rocks.
that's subjective.
Hunter, to answer your
This is
question.
all just further refining something that is objective.
Hold on. Ben, someone's trying to talk to me. Shut the hell up.
Okay.
No, Hunter, to answer your question, I had a debate with Objective Ethics, and we talked about that very point. This was about a week ago. And my point was that I think he's just kicking the can up a level. In other words, I feel like he was just
Yeah, here's where I was like,
you know,
oh
the
shit, Omar's just gonna jump right in over the top of me.
criteria for the actor. And to me, that if you don't have an objective criteria, then you don't have an objective set of rules based on the criteria. So I my point was you're just kicking the can up another level.
Right.
But then, you don't.
Not like there's any time. I'm not trying to. Not like there's any time. There's no time in the gauntlet. You gotta stick your foot in the door and make your point, get noticed or not get noticed. That's how that one runs. Interrupt this really a lot. I have been sitting back in the back for a while, and I have a couple of meta things. I know that I have a couple of meta things I wanted to address. Hello, I had a couple of meta things I wanted to address before I got into the topic here. first is that you said you had a spreadsheet on everybody, and I'm sure mine just says, "Dude's an asshole. Why is he still here?"
I was wondering
Turtle.
that part too. I'm like, does she have little ratings next to all the things too?
Right. Now the second one is I got a little bone to pick with Alley Cat over there.
Oh, AC guy.
The last time I was on, I insisted that I had
now you'll
said
notice
something.
I tried to say it's not worth all that. I didn't really want a one-on-one. I was just being a little goofy to try to get my foot in the door.
And it's not going to be huge, but the last time I was on, I insisted that I said something, and I did not say that thing, and I immediately went over to my channel and said there's no excuse for me to battle that when I was absolutely wrong. And I figure that I would, next time I see you, mention directly to you that I concede I did not say what I had said about the AI, what it depicted it would say. I figured that was good. It was just a little bit of meta before I got onto the subject. Now on to the subject.
That's it?
Well, I mean, I was just being a little goofy. I do get it though. She was expecting me to get up there and just start row at him because I said I had a bone to pick with him. That was kind of the trick, but it fell completely flat, obviously. That was it. It was a small little meta. I wanted to apologize.
Gay, sirs. I was hoping for some yeah, fuck you, no, fuck
Oh
you.
no, I was using that as kind of
this by
the.
saying I've got a
I got a
bone to pick with
him. Yeah, it was
Alley
fun.
Okay, and I was like, I was ready for some rumble time. I should boot your ass to the back for false advertisement. Fuck you, Zers.
Now, as far as the topic,
Give Sarah blue balls, sirs.
I know.
That was the worst.
Hunter
That was the
got
worst
his
attempt to
dick
ask someone on a
sucked.
date I've ever heard.
You didn't. And believe me, I'm sorry for you.
Hey, Cody, how you doing?
So
What?
yeah, getting onto
Music.
the topic that I noticed
The
we
fun's
getting
just
into this
beginning.
loop of objective, of subjective.
Sorry, the fun's just beginning, man.
Music. Who's
I
Is there
know-
music?
There's
I
still
only know
music.
music.
Do you have your porn tab open or something?
I still hear music.
Does nobody
You're
else
gonna
hear
hear
music but me?
I
No,
think
the
you
music is
only.
100% being played.
Okay, how do
So,
I hear music?
I keep hearing.
Fuck you.
I keep hearing objective, subjective, objective, subjective, and it ends up getting to me subjectively freaking boring. Now, there is a premise within this prompt here. If you remove all the through reasoning, evolution, all that other shit, you end up with morality can exist without God. And I would actually hold a positive on this argument, and I can give a good example of recently. I'm holding in my phone, right in my hand right now, a phone. This phone doesn't belong to me. I found this phone. I'm not kidding. I'm holding it in my hand this moment. It doesn't belong to me. I found this phone on the street. It was in.
Now let's just say I didn't tell this long story, and I just simply asked, "Hey, was that a moral act, and was God guiding my hand?" How are you gonna know without hearing the story? Anyway, let's see how much they buck about hearing the story.
It was in between fence alley section between my apartment and a gas station. And I could have done several things. I could have left this phone. I could have smashed this phone to see if it sparks when it smashed. I could have thrown it away. But instead, I picked this phone up. And, I could have even tried to reset it and put a new SIM card in it and
I
try to
have
find
fun
some
there.
way to sneakily keep it. But what I did was I called the very first number on it. Now, I think that this actually is moral, a very moral act. Would you say this is a very moral act to call the person? Now I got a hold of the person, and tomorrow morning I will be giving the phone to him.
Morally good or morally bad? Because there's two different.
Well,
types
it's a
of
weird way to get a
Just
date,
in
but
general,
I wasn't
moral. Moral.
Now, if you look up the word morality, which they do end up having me do, is look up the word morality, you will find that it has both good and bad included in the word morality. Morality simply means either good or bad, right or wrong. It doesn't necessarily deem objective or reason or evolution or natural law. can exist without
Why didn't
morality.
you just go to settings?
Morality
and
in general, good or bad, can exist without God.
Even I know.
I mean,
it.
I'm reading directly from the prompt.
I'm technologically retarded. Everyone knows that from Vegas.
Go ahead, Omar. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that I have certain strengths, certain weaknesses, and if I pretended to be technologically advanced, there are many people here on this panel this evening, some of which saw it firsthand in Vegas. I couldn't even get the fucking card to work at the door. Okay, now some could say that's from thousands
He really
of
was
ayahuasca
like that
ceremonies.
retarded.
Has nothing to do with morality.
Having the Matrix fight with me, which is what's going on. But all you got to do is go to the settings. I can show you how it's done. The idea of turning it into a 4-minute monologue of a fucking moral dilemma, when all it really is, you're describing is the lack of technological basic capabilities. You go to settings, and then you go to general, and then you go about, and then right here you can find out your personal information.
Isn't that wonderful, Boomer? You have just described to me how to call the phone that's in my hand. You have not at all described how I'm supposed to get this phone to that other person. The phone that you're looking up that information is in your hand. It only gives you the ability to call your phone that's in your hand. Jeez, Boomer. Thank you.
Whose phone that is?
Right, but that doesn't give me an
Talk
ability.
phone.
That doesn't give me an ability to call the person. That tells me everything about this phone, and it gives me ability to call this phone. I then took the extra step.
You could just say thank
I'll
you.
tell you what. I'll tell you who the person was. The person was Pastor Chris. It was the very last number the person had called on his phone. Now, the question isn't whether or not I called the person or whether was the act of calling this person to return the phone and making sure to give this phone to them, was that act moral? Now you'll notice they latch so much onto the story rather than the question. Was it moral? Did it have an outside positive or negative effect? I said or. Do you notice that? Moral. Was it a moral act? I didn't ask morally good. I didn't ask morally bad. I asked, was it moral to return this phone to that person?
Well, it depends. Maybe he dropped that phone on purpose because he was hiding and he's like in some kind of secret program or FBI watch list. I don't know. And maybe he had to drop the phone. So maybe you calling Pastor such and such and saying, hey, yada, yada, somebody left their phone, found it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, now I know their last location. Dun, dun, dun.
Was it
you did more bad than good.
Yeah, he could absolutely refuse to get this phone. I understand that. He could absolutely refuse to get this phone. But
was it the pastor's phone, sirs?
he ended up having somebody try to call me several times, and I refused to answer.
Was it the pastor's phone?
I don't.
Clay,
at this moment, it's a found phone. That's an irrelevant
Could
question.
I just add to this?
So-
the twist would be the last number.
He
Hey,
could
Clay,
choose not to get the phone, and that's fine. However, he
No, what if it was
chose-
his mistress? And what if it was his mistress? So actually, the moral deed gave you a bad moral because you actually.
The person that gets the phone is getting it to him because it's his big brother. If you'd let me get to there, because you
How
can't
hard is it to really explain a personal story?
Right, the point is totally avoided.
Hold on,
The
hold on.
point
Remember him
is it
starting this saying
moral for?
Yeah, even Effigy said, you notice they're attacking the story and not the point. And how do you not? How are you arguing for or against something if you don't have all of the pieces of the story?
Me to return this phone. Now the problem here is you're
Yes, this is a
suggesting
basic
maybe he
moral
doesn't
question.
get
If
the
you
phone
see
back.
someone in distress and you can help them,
He
doing them a
did.
good
He
is a
did
moral
have
good.
his brother call me. Now, I originally didn't answer that phone call for 2 times because I didn't want to talk to anybody else other than the pastor I had already talked to. However, he sent me a text message. He sent me a text message saying that he had spoke to the pastor because there's a part of this story that you're ignoring. He spoke to the pastor. He sent me a text message saying he spoke to the pastor,
you let me
and
ask
he
the
is a brother
Maybe you
of
should
this
make a
phone.
documentary about this so we could actually watch this at our own pace. This is like a 3-part series.
You're like,
Or you could, or you could just simply answer if it's moral or not.
That's the one question. That's the one question. There's only one, well, two questions. The other one is, did God guide my hand? And I have my own mind what I was thinking. So I know if what I was thinking included the 10 Commandments or not. So far, I haven't asked any questions. I've just been telling you a story and asking you where the morality
I know you're telling
is.
a story. It's a very fucking long story, though. It's a diatribe, we call it, right?
Okay,
And
so
Landon,
where was God in this story?
We're losing the audience, dude. Someone save Sarah's show.
Oh, Landon, where was God in this story?
Depends
Well, I
on.
don't think-
Can I answer the question?
I don't think that there was a morality to this. I just think it was a really weird date to get a way to get an in-person date with some stranger.
Nice to meet everybody. I'm gonna head out.
Okay.
I will be hanging out and just listening, so I hear the riveting end of the story about the cell phone. But I really appreciate meeting everybody. It was really nice to chat with you all. Sarah, you have a lovely singing voice.
No, thanks.
Thanks everyone else for answering my. And Shaman Omar, I was hoping we would talk more. Somebody wanted me to debate with you. I think on day 3. So I hope that
on day 3. Oh, he wants to do the 2-on-2. You were the partner.
Yeah, he wanted to do a 2-on-2 with me.
Let's schedule that right now, because ironically, I have when Sarah's available, I have my second partner. For that.
But my only thing, Tavo, my only thing for the featured debaters is they do have to cam up.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I'll think about it when I'm literally like, I don't really have an ethical a huge problem with it. It's just I'm funny looking, and I just don't like people to make fun of me the whole time.
Well, if you believe everything is under divine will, God designed you under the way. It's your job to find out what that mystery is in your life, sir.
Well, not only that,
I'm
Tavo,
okay
maybe
with-
it'll bring more viewers.
I'm okay with God designing me to be funny looking for the entertainment of others.
I didn't say funny looking. I'm saying whatever the reason of the mystery that is you and is me, that's our job to figure that out, right? Isn't that a very Christian thing to say?
Let's see. What did we originally leave off on?
The phone.
the
I was
email. No. We were talking about.
Please no.
Because you are incredibly hard to get answers from quickly. So I wanted to look at what dates were we looking at for. Let's see. Let me find that.
Tabo, let's figure this out right now. How about this? For the 2-on-2, it's you and it's what's his name again? Gavin.
Gavin.
Do you want to just get right to the point, and you guys gonna claim Jesus is God, right? That's your ultimate finale, right? So why don't we just debate that and stop dancing?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to Gavin invited me.
It should be the easiest one. If that's your if your finis de raison says Jesus is God, it should be like the thing you guys are prepared for, right?
Well, I don't know where you guys were in the conversation. Was it?
That goes back to excluding middles. I actually like his argument there. It's excluding all of the nonsense.
That you guys were trying to figure out what.
Oh yeah.
My conversation was.
Hold on. Is Christianity the most true and historically backed faith religion? Yeah, but you wouldn't
It's
even.
giving
I don't
the
even think you'd pick
topic
that
of
one
an
up.
identity.
Well, historically backed. First of all, there's a few different problems with that. So if someone wrote the wrong thing more than someone else wrote the wrong thing, then the wrong thing's right. The most historically backed is stupid. Why don't I take Zoroastrianism then, and then we can, why don't I just pick another? Why don't I pick Hinduism? There's more writings about that than all the Abrahamic faiths combined. Like, this is a stupid. I don't want to argue something just to argue and win an argument. I want to argue something that they actually believe that I actually disagree with.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where you were in the conversation with Gavin, so I don't want to
Well, my conversation with Gavin, I just joined his panel and we were having a good conversation. He decided to exercise his free will and start clipping up bullshit out of context and trying to make a name for himself. So I'm going to assist him in that process.
I was saying it's nice to meet you, and I was going to bounce, but
I have nothing wrong with you, Tabo. Yeah, you're going to be getting into. Yeah, you're going to be diving into. Well, no, not with you, but with he and I. So usually when I have theological debates, I always come in good faith. There are a lot of people of different faiths here tonight. Clay, correct? I come in good faith and I never disrespect anyone's religions or faith. In the circumstance that you're about to apparently join into, Gavin is going to have to answer some serious questions, and I'm not granting anything. We're having a full-blown debate. If you want me to accept Luke's acts, you're going to have to tell me why it's acceptable. Well, I'm not granting anything. So he tried to play clip games, and I'm just not 20 years old. I'm a little bit older than that, and so. But
you're not 20.
No, I'm sorry.
Fuck,
I'm going to go now, everyone.
Glasses.
I put my glasses. I thought we'd have an intellectual conversation. I started about phones missing and morals.
Yeah, I just briefly checked out your channel.
Oh, we're doing the series. We're doing the class.
With Gavin, we're gonna have a chat tomorrow, so I'll
okay.
I'll
All right, you guys do that. Tell Gavin to add you on the email thread, please.
Oh, sure.
Let's have. Okay, so let me give you my reveal. Here's my reveal. My reveal is, let's pick something important. You guys say Jesus is God. That's your finis de raisons. And I say Jesus is no human is God, right? Okay. Or we can say the Trinity. I know that he talks about that literally every single night. So we can say Trinity is logical. That's your stance. And I would say it's illogical or biblical. How about this? Trinity is biblical. And I'll go to Torah.
I think that was an option.
That's a good one.
One-on-one. I think that was.
Can do
in the thing, but yeah, Tavo, just tell him to add you on the email thread. As long as you're good with camming up, I don't give a fuck how ugly you are, my friend.
Yeah, no one's we're not doing
that. I love you. You're welcome to wear sunglasses or whatever makes you feel comfortable, but yeah, nobody gives a fuck. It'll bring more viewers anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be wearing I'm gonna be wearing the prayer cloth like a rabbi.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, well, it's nice to meet you all, and I look forward to.
And there'll be no Tavo. I'm just kind of. This is the gauntlet, so we kind of. I assure you, there's not going to be any I've never met you. I don't just start off insulting people or anything like that. We're gonna have a proper theological debate. But I'm just letting you know that that your friend decided to, he clipped. He's like, I'm like, excuse me. I'm like. He clipped me, and he didn't put the answer, and he just clipped it and puts up these like Seinfeld music, and so he's going to have to answer that publicly.
And he's going to be a woman.
The guy was insulting because we were just having a conversation. We weren't even debating, but he's about to.
I see what you're saying. You're saying he clipped you out of context.
He's going to have an opportunity to. He's going to have an. I know
somebody online clipped you out of context.
I don't have a YouTube channel.
No way.
I'm not even doing this for money. I'm doing this just for the fame.
I'm his channel over here. This is what
I don't. Yeah, but I also will never. I never forget anything.
Well, I actually went to your channel though. I looked at some of your videos on theognosis and that book that you wrote. Yeah, you did some readings of your poetry. I think maybe that was Facebook rather than YouTube.
It's on Instagram is the only one. Thank you.
I was genuinely very intrigued in it.
Thank you. I mean, I'm
should we give them room for the dick sucking time? Hunter, are you getting jealous?
Yeah. Where the hell? I gotta go to bed, and I gotta find a different way to get it.
That's what she said.
But this has been a blast.
Poor Hunter just wanted his dick sucked all night. Here's Shaman getting his stroke.
I know, it's so unbelievable. But I'll find someone. But it's not going to be here. That's what I found out. So I'm going to go. It's been a blast. Thanks for having me, Sarah. Thanks, everyone. Follow me at Hunter E. Kozak anywhere. What?
Thank you, Hunter.
I'd be very lucky, Hunter, as would any guy be to participate in that with you in that particular.
You guys are all beautiful.
Where's Duck?
Duck.
Everybody
Okay.
Why would you?
How much love? Bye.
Bye, Hunter. Why would you?
Why
would you try to get Duck up here? Like, why?
Because someone said that any guy would be happy to perform that act. And I say, Duck's the guy who's talking about being fluid.
Oh shoot! Don't say his name again. You've said it twice. You're gonna.
Shit.
It don't matter. Sarah banned Duck. Like it don't matter. Sarah banned Duck. Like
is he still banned?
That's right.
Yeah, you never unbanned him. You banned him when he spurred out in the back.
Did I ban him from StreamYard though? I don't think I banned him from StreamYard.
Because he kept fucking spurging out in the private chat.
Well, yeah, I remember that, but I don't think I. Oh, but I think he kept jumping back in. That's why.
Yes, and you banned him.
I'll let the chat decide. I'll tell you what. If the chat wants Duck back, they can pay to get him back. I'll let it develop over time, and then I'll decide how much is enough.
So
Clay,
where else is he supposed to go? You're like his this is what? Duck's banned? That's
what.
crazy. I've never
Well,
heard this.
because he was saying TOS words in the private chat, but some people were screen capturing the stream onto their streams. So if they have private chat pop up, those words will be across the screen, and I'm not going to allow that shit.
Man.
I don't give a fuck.
He knows better, or he doesn't know better.
Of course,
he knows
fucking knows better.
I don't know.
Yeah, you should know by now. I'm determined to make sure my words are heard.
I didn't even know that what you're talking about exists until you just said it. I'm sorry.
The private chat that you've been messaging in all night?
Yeah.
That's where he was spurting out in. And he knows better. He knows better.
Okay.
You like that side chat you took in that, John?
Huh?
It's like that private chat you've been talking in all night.
I do it all the time, but then I remember. I go, oops, let me just make one message and say hello to everyone.
She's like gonna give Shaman the jab on the way out.
Yeah, but what most people may or may not know, but if somebody, and you don't know if they are or not, but if somebody's screen capturing the screen, they have it all pulled up. All of those private. This is why I'm very selective what I put back there, and I tell people to just shut up. Because you don't want the wrong shit going in there. You don't want people taking advantage of it. And you also don't want that shit put on the screen.
Yeah, I usually only use the back to say like, hey, be right back, smoke, or something like that. Hello, sirloin, good time to show up, right when I paused.
If people are like trading emails or personal information or saying anything that wouldn't be public, that's why I just say stop. Logistics only to protect all of you. You all may think I'm just being a bitch back there, but trust me, I'm protecting all of you. Fourth Wiseman with the Big Ten says, here's to objective morality. Your land you reside is just land. You give it whatever name you like. It's like the land where I reside and we live upon it. No fence nor invisible line on map is boundary. Any thoughts to that, gentlemen?
My thought is that if Duck wants to come back, he should have to make a short video of him playing Yankee Doodle Dandy on a kazoo and then send it to you to where you can put it on your fucking page, and then he can come back.
What would be awesome is if he's listening and he joins, and like that means how loyal he is.
That would not be awesome.
Yeah, I have no clue. I know.
I'll tell you, I have to be paid. Okay, and I'll decide at what point, and it has to be like the super chats have to say for like Duck's release. Okay,
release the duck.
Like, release the duck. Yes.
And duck season.
I wanted to answer that.
And duck season. Duck.
Now, I saw him long ago. If you notice, I had a big, long, silent period there. I saw Kraut Mick put this up here again, and I'm like, dude, didn't I just very clearly point out that I didn't want to? Now, I've done it at the beginning of this show, and I don't think anybody would dispute what I was saying. I didn't want to just keep... Hold on real quick. Anywho, dealing with that guy's junk mail, I guess. Wonderful. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, I like that's what I'm saying. I like the show. I love to go up there and, you know, put my point of view out there. Well, I mean, there's plenty of other places I could go, but this one's fun. I like the people. Why not? I kind of like the atmosphere too. I like to rub elbows a little bit, but I definitely didn't want to keep saying the word objective over and over and over again. So I made it very clear. No, I'm not playing with that stupid word. I'd rather remove all of that and just stick to the meat of the subject.
Season has commenced. Crowd says morality can exist without God is not the prompt, sirs. It's objective morality. Define objective, sirs.
Well, I'm actually glad he touched on that because apparently he only read the first two words of the prompt, objective morality, and then quit there. It very clearly says morality can exist without God. If you ignore all the other nonsense, I'm not trying to put a record out there, a Guinness Book of Records, for saying the word objective and subjective as many times as I possibly can. I'm trying to actually... the prompt is morality can exist without God.
No, that's not the prompt.
Objective morality can exist without God. Now it removes subjective, so that leaves only objective. So there's no reason to keep getting into the debate of subjective or objective. Instead, we should try to move on to can morality exist without God? Now, how?
That's half the prompt.
I know exactly how
because now you're going to
the
go
idea
into
to return
this
phone
argument.
Hold on,
what
real
about the other half?
quick. And this is actually my argument that the prompt actually has baked in it so many different ways to dive and gish gallop, whichever way you want to argue. However, it only has one truly identifiable topic. Truly uniquely identifiable topic. Morality can exist without God.
The prompt.
Exactly
The other half of the
how I
prompt says
got
through
the
reason,
idea.
evolution, or natural law. So there are
Right,
three
that means you
options.
could keep talking about reason or evolution or see how many times you could set the record
You
on
just want half
anything other than the clear, simple point of morality can exist without God.
Yeah, but so you just want half the prompt. You don't want the whole prompt.
Well, no, I would like to address the meat of the subject
I
without
like how he
keep
said it
trying.
so
I'm not
assertively
trying to
without
set a
making a
record
claim. He
for
just-
saying
No, you read the
objective and
prompt.
subjective. And you did not put subjective in the prompt at all. So it's only about objective morality. So I can simply say, yes, objective morality can exist without God. And I can tell you that I'd return this phone without God's hand. I can describe exactly how it had nothing to do with God's hand.
You can't do it.
Yes. Sure I can, because it's my actions. You forget that this story is about me and my actions. So I know what was going through my mind when I decided to take the act that I took. It was, hey, I'd feel like crap if I lost my phone. You know what? I could have just walked by that phone and left it sitting there. But I thought, I don't really want somebody that might have a devious mind getting a hold of this phone. I would prefer that somebody I trust, me, pick up this phone and try to get it back to that person. No God whatsoever, 10 Commandments, burning in hell, none of that came to my mind.
It make
You
any
can't.
sense.
You're making
Yes.
a claim, but you can't substantiate it.
You want me to substantiate it?
You
Yeah, go
can't
ahead.
prove it.
Turning
God
shrub.
revealed
You
it
really
or
want me to
not.
go into the diatribe and substantiate it, or are you
I
going to
don't want you
continue to talk over
diatribe.
me?
Give
I
him
want
the
you to
just
explain
grant
to
it,
me.
Clay. Let's just say he
Provide
won.
some evidence of why it is that you can even exist without God.
Where's Baldur's?
I'd like a story.
That's diving into an entirely different question.
No, it's
The
not.
question
It's
is, how did
it says-
God... It quite literally is. It's an entirely different topic altogether. God guide
and
my
you'll
hand.
request
He
it
didn't. I'll
as the
explain
question
how
you
that...
presented,
You're
which
talking
is
over me
actually
again.
not the prompt.
I'm sorry if everything you said were interrupted. Well, actually, on that, I didn't think about that while I was there. Neither is can I exist without God. That's also not part of the prompt. That's most certainly not part of the prompt. At least the words in order morality can exist without God is most certainly in that prompt. The words you used are absolutely not. The middle of everything I said.
Bro, you just go on a diatribe and don't actually say anything. Welcome back.
Hi.
You just do a diatribe and don't really say anything. You tell us a story. And I get it. You're really great at telling stories, but this isn't story time. It's debate time. It's the gauntlet.
Can you determine morality?
Can I determine morality? No, that's why it's subjective. Actually, here's the thing about what I actually believe. I don't even believe morality's really a fucking thing. I think that's Catholic guilt, personally.
You personally removed that argument now. You're of no use. You're of no use in the morality argument. You just destroyed your purpose in this argument. You don't even believe in morality. Now you're about to go into this thing about the stores telling me what the price is. Do you know I counted? You told that same story 3 times in a row. But you've removed yourself right now from this conversation because you say you do not believe morality exists. Why are you arguing morality? Unless you're going to argue that it doesn't exist, but it seems like you're, for some reason, arguing that it does, while holding the position it doesn't. You're a walking contradiction.
No offense,
Well, then
sir.
why are you here? The prompt is about morality.
Because when we're talking about morality and what is good and bad, and this is actually what I've been saying the whole fucking time, this is the exact thing that advertisers do to try to get you to buy their product, to tell you it's good or bad or better or best or worse.
3 times he told
tell him
this
that's
story
in high
that
school,
night.
you-
I don't see good or bad or any of that in this prompt. I see morality, and you're saying you just gave up morality by saying you don't believe in morality. So morality doesn't exist to you. It can't exist with
Define
God
morality.
or without God. It's
Define
something that's
morality.
just a construct,
Define
as you just
morality.
said.
Define morality.
Define morality? Well, shit, I am.
Define
I would have
morality.
to
I don't care
say
if you actually look it up. Go ahead and look it up and tell me what morality is.
it's I believe, a belief system based on blah blah. Let's see.
On blah blah? Oh, okay. It's not
Well, yeah. When I'm looking it up, it's kind of blah blah at the moment.
good and bad and what's right and wrong, better.
You asked
best.
me to look it up, correct?
Yeah, go ahead, look it up. Actually, look up what morality is about, what it means, the definition. Yeah.
Principle
And then tell me
concerning
it's
the
not about
distinct. Principle concerning the distinction between right and wrong both, or good and bad both. I don't have to narrow it down to one or the other, especially if the conversation is, can morality, right or wrong, good or bad, exist without God? By definition, that should be the end of the story. And I would have to say, God did not guide my hand. It doesn't need objectiveness. It doesn't need God. It doesn't need to be narrowed down to good or bad, right or wrong. All it needs is a perception that you can see an outward reaction.
bad, right? And if we can decide on what is good and bad on our own versus without
Well,
God.
I'm just simply asking if it's a moral act what I did. You haven't yet to answer if it is or if it's not, and quantify why it's not.
Ask the question, ask the question.
I did. I just asked the question. How did God make me think? What was the process of God in my thought of returning this phone? I can give you the process of my thoughts when returning this phone, and it did not include
Ask the question,
God.
or are you asking the question and answering it, sir?
You can rewind that. That was an asking you the question.
Ask and to
How-
answer it, ask the question.
I asked the question, however, I did include the fact that they're my thoughts that I haven't given you yet. You're fighting against my internal critique of myself when deciding to pick up this phone. And I haven't even told you my internal critique. The question was, if I can tell you how I came up with the idea to return this phone and it does not include God, can you tell me how God guided my hand?
I have
do
to be
this?
right back.
Other than just simply say God made me.
I might be a little while. This
You're gonna
video
go
is
into the
got
because and
quite
do
a
the
bit to
diatribe,
keep you guys
whatever.
entertained.
I understand the question, but what you have to do is stop at the question and then let me answer it. This
A
is
long time ago.
how the question and answer portion works.
I stopped.
Okay. How did God guide your hand in doing that action? The doing of the thing that is a good thing or a better thing or a best thing or a bad thing, a worse thing or worse thing. How did he guide you in doing that? That's the question. There's nothing more to it, right? You don't have to explain to me extra. And I can answer to you what I believe, right?
Okay.
That's subjective to my mind. You're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to answer according to your subjective mind, right? Now,
my mind being that I'm holding the phone is the reality.
Hold on. Now I'm going to do this for you, okay? What I believe is that you were created by an all-loving creator. And because of that, you enjoy the credibility of having authority within your body to do good things and make good choices. This is called the conscience. He gave you a body and a mind, and with that comes a conscience. And so now your conscience has been trained upon doing good things and
Through
doing
whom?
bad things. That's how.
Through whom?
Bro, I just explained it to you.
Oh my God.
No, you didn't explain through whom. My mind was that if I had lost my phone, I would be upset. I would feel harmed. I would not like it being gone. Not that anybody intentionally harmed me, but I would feel at a loss. And I'm in this thought. I decided to move forward with doing a moral thing that I gave the phone. However, there could have been many things that I could have done.
It's your opinion.
And it is my choice outside of I never once thought, you know what? God had these 10 commandments. I never once thought God had these 10 commandments. This is what I need to do because it's right.
When I'm going to do something good or bad, baby Christy.
And it is a moral act. Either way, good or bad.
Clay, let me get in here real quick.
Can I ask it, Clay? Can I ask him a question? Because I think we're missing. Can I narrow this down a little bit? So, if you believe that morality is objective and exists without a,
well, I'm not trying to make a record for the word objective. I know you want to keep saying objective as many times as you can. I am not trying to do that.
Okay, well then wait until I ask the question, because I'm asking the question based off.
Frame your question without objective.
You went crazy about people not sticking to the prompt. So,
I was very clear in the beginning. I was cutting things out of the prompt and getting to the meat of the prompt. But go ahead.
Beginning of the
explain it without objective.
In the last 7 minutes when I've been on here, sir. I feel like
go ahead without saying objective. Let's see if you can do that.
Okay, I don't need to say the word. So, do you believe that morality? Do you believe that morality exists without God? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe in free will?
That's a question, because there's studies that show that if you sever the mind, that free will isn't necessary. You have two different minds that would want two different things after they sever the mind.
But you would agree that if you or I decided to ponder the concept of to sever our mind, or to not sever our mind, to do something to ourselves, I would make a decision, and you would make a decision as two independent consciousness. The question is, do you believe that you're exercising your own free will, or is it all just predetermined? Because I don't know of a third option. I believe in free will within parameters. But
actually, the severing of the mind experiment shows that there's not necessarily only one option, that you weigh the benefits to you of the options that are within your mind. Your mind calculates many different paths that you can take, and you weigh the best
I'm heading
option.
off to complete my good deed.
Okay, that's moving the goalpost. Free will
Well, no.
is either we have free will or we don't have free will. The severing the mind was just me playing off. You have the ability to say yes or say no. Do you believe you have that ability, or you believe it's predetermined based off of ...
That scientific study most certainly shows that if you separate the brain, you do not have a choice. You will answer both. You will most certainly answer both, not one or the other. You will absolutely answer both. Now, the only time your mind only answers one is when it's connected, and that shows that there's not necessarily a free will. It's more of a complete calculation. The broken machine is no longer broken. It's working properly. So you have a thought pattern that makes you weigh the benefit to you.
Okay.
To you personally.
All right. Okay. Thanks for that answer. So I guess I'll have to ask it again. That explanation that you just gave me to my answer, did you exercise free will to make that your answer? Or was it predetermined that was going to be your answer?
No, I'm sure there were multiple variants that went through my mind of how I could answer that question, and I selected from one of them. Not willingly. My mind did so without my will.
So you didn't have the ability. So do you believe that repeating the same, for example, using the same answer twice to the same question, was that
when there's
based off
only
of
one answer?
patterns
Yes.
in your brain? There's not only, but you just said there's not only one answer.
Right.
There's
If you
free
have
will or no
severed the
free will, and
brain,
you said
okay,
there's a
go
third
on.
option.
I didn't realize you were referring to when severing the brain. Okay, go on with your question about
The severing
after.
the brain is irrelevant. To jump off the cliff or not jump off the cliff, to eat the third piece of pizza or not eat the third piece of pizza, to choose pepperoni or your favorite topping when ordering pizza or not to, right? There are
Actually, the study
factors-
shows that they have to eat both the foods that they're thinking about, because if they don't get it, then the one mind fights the other. So if you were thinking to jump off the cliff and you were forced to or chose not to, your mind would, because of the severing, would still have the equal thought pattern of the other half telling it that it should have done so, and it would start having you'd basically go crazy.
I don't know why you keep going back to this hypothetical thing about severed
It's not a
brains that lead to
hypothetical. It's a
options.
scientific fact. They studied it.
So
with
who are you
epilepsy.
referring to? Name the person you're referring to if it's not a hypothetical. What's the
They
name of the
severed
patient
several
of the study?
minds.
Oh, really? What's the name of their?
Let's
Who's
see.
the person's mind it belonged to? Let's find out. Let's ask them a question. If they don't exist right now, then this would be like someone telling you Jesus said so. So it's irrelevant to the subject according to your worldview of God not existing. So you want me to just start, like I'm
Well,
trying to have
no,
an
you were asking me if we had independent thought, and that shows that
I've
we
been
don't
trying to
have
ask you if you
independent
think,
thought.
do you believe that
And I've been
you have
answering
free will or not?
repetitively. You just keep asking the question after
You
I've
really
answered repetitively. It's asked and answered.
I don't believe
most certainly do not think that we have independent thought.
Okay, thank you. You did not make that very clear unless I completely
I fucking
missed
made it as clear as day. You're just too fucking stupid to understand it, sir.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I'm profiled as, the idiot on the fucking panel. I'm sure if we take votes, I'm sure that's what will happen tonight.
Did anybody understand what Zerz
I'm
was saying?
sure everybody on the panel that agrees with everybody all night long every night.
Hold
would
on, but
agree with
did you?
everybody
But
all night long
did
every
you?
night.
Did you have the free will
That's
to
an
make
appeal
that
to consensus,
determination?
by the way. That's an appeal to a popular. So that's
You're
not
appealing to consensus
that's
in
not-
a stupid study.
What are you talking about?
Hey, Clay, I came on here specifically for Spurs. Now, Spurs, I'm going to make a statement, then I'm going to ask you one question. They're both very quick.
Spurs.
You made the statement. You made the statement when you got up here. You're following the prompt, and you specifically said morality can be without God. Now, you're
within
talking
the
about. Hold on, bro. I'm making a statement, then I'm going to ask you a question, then you can talk. Now, you're saying, oh, I wanted to cut to the meat of the conversation. I think everybody in here is in agreement with morality is. We need to define objective. That's literally the meat of the conversation, in my opinion. Here's the question. Define objective.
It's odd that you would keep asking that question, like your
It's odd you couldn't answer it.
brain is stuck in a loop or something. No, I'm telling you very clearly. I'm not trying to set a record for saying an extreme over me. I am not. I will repeat. I will repeat, and I will repeat again until you shut up, Clay. I will not try to set a world record
for the number of times I say the word objective.
So you want
To understand
Yeah,
that I
he did-
don't
he
want
did-
to keep
he did-
repeating the word
I heard it.
objective
I
and
heard
see
you
how
clarify
many
that.
times I can say it. I would rather
heard you
address
cla-
topics like, was the
Yeah.
phone moral? Did God guide
So
my
you want
hand?
to find it.
Can God
So you want to
exist
find it.
without or can morality exist without God? All this
So
through
you want to find it. Hey, Clay,
reasons
define
and
objective.
evolution, and those are all middles. You're supposed to be excluding those.
Well, I think you're
Clay,
missing the
define
point, though.
objective.
Speaking
but
of
here's the thing.
points, Fourth Wiseman has a point. Wow, 4 months milestone. Another 5 months, and I'll give birth. Not just joking. Ain't nobody having babies up in this bitch. I'm the daddy, but lots of fun. Shout out to you, Fourth Wiseman. He also says Duck requires full song rendition of a song for at least 2 minutes on a kazoo for redemption. No, maybe 20 minutes. 20 minutes minimum.
Ballad?
there's no-
That'll kill
it's
your
a-
show.
Ballad?
That'll kill your
yeah,
show.
it will do it at the very end. Doesn't matter. The point is that
Sarah, you
he's-
won't even tune in for that for 20 minutes. Come on. You can't make it
I
60
think
seconds.
I'll-
I think many of us would just for spite. Just for spite.
I think I could still always go upstairs and make a sandwich or something. You know, it'd be all right.
Oh, I would sit through it.
I'd
Yeah.
sit through it for fun.
Just to harass him the whole time.
Right? Just put him on the screen and we could all take a nap during the time.
I've
whatever.
been dogging Duck for months about that damn kazoo. I ain't stopping now.
We have a fucking emoji in our membership chat just for that. Fourth Wiseman says, I was even going to send Duck 1,000 kazoos in a box, so he had no excuse he didn't have one. Oh well, he lost out now. Clay, go ahead.
Okay, Fourth Wiseman says, Clay, maybe God was dying and decided to gift everyone and everything with all that God was, and here we are. Searching for something that we already are.
Well,
I mean, you can believe that. Yeah, sure.
that's it. He spent 10 bones for you to say that.
Well, look, here's the thing.
I should use a 10 bones just to dunk your ass.
I obviously am going to disagree with you on that, sir. We are searching for something that we already are means that God does not exist. And I know that's what that
not
means.
what he's saying there. He's
Okay.
saying that we are already the perfect reflection of God, that all that he is, we're the perfect reflection of. And we
So
need to
we're
fight.
God.
No, we're the perfect reflection. Is the mirror, the reflection in the mirror you?
Oh, okay. Well, I still disagree. I get it now.
And then he's saying that through self introspection is then how you come to this understanding.
Yeah. I would say that unfortunately, a thing did happen a long time ago. I put the 6,000-year-old model on it. Obviously, I'm not one of these evolutionist guys, but the thing did happen according to what I believe, and now we're not perfect. So even though we were created originally in perfection, unfortunately, no longer are we. So we have to continue searching. And we are not that at the current moment.
You know, guys, I think there's one thing we're missing here, right? I think the component to this is like free will, because the concept of morality being objective or subjective, and God playing a role or not playing a role, right, could be like tied into objective or subjective, like God exists, doesn't exist. But the free will component is the key part, because I just don't understand if someone believes there is no free will, right? Then how could one even exercise a moral action or an immoral action at all if there's no free will?
Here's the problem is you guys, that people don't make the distinctions. So like what Zers was just talking about is free thought, and not everything has free thought. Some things can. What you're talking about with free will is the ability to enact on those thoughts, to make
exactly
movement. And so that's what the will is. So you could have free thought and think things, you know, all kinds of things. It's only, and this is supposedly what the angels, this is their problem. They don't have the ability to enact things on this plane. That's why they're always nagging at us about it. like, because they need us to do the actual work, and they're like, hey, we think this thing. So the two things are distinctly different. You need to have, and so what we really need is the ability of free thought and free will. You need to have both these things in order to make your own agenda, make your own will be known.
Yeah. Real quick, Xerxes, I wasn't trying to even get combative with you. I was trying to understand because, for example, obviously the thoughts that we have, right, are based off of things we've seen before, our environments, and we have the subconscious mind, and we draw from that without knowing, and so on, so on, so on. Like, I understand the brain chemical reactionary memory component of it, right? But the actions we take, like the thoughts that we you can think about, I'm going to get a job and have 5 options. To choose one of them is to make one of those thoughts my thought, and then to take action on that, right? So exactly like Balderson was talking about, like the thoughts that happen and the thoughts we act and actions we act upon. That's 2 different things. That was what I was trying to frame pertaining to this morality question.
So I believe that you're asking how can morality be quantifiable. I believe the morality can be quantifiable by the person's reaction when they receive their phone. I'm sure I can see quantifiably that they're happy, and what I did was then I can actually apply to it.
I don't think you know what quantifiable means, dude.
Then I could apply to it good, because I could see happiness versus sadness.
That's quality, not quantity.
Now, can I measure that happiness? Well,
I can measure
no,
happiness
not
right now
necessarily.
because I'm going to go to bed. I got to get up in just a few hours. So what I'm going to do, I've already set up my raid to head over to side of that, I'm going to go ahead and end over on that side. Good night,
Ben,
gentlemen. The Rumble, it goes private automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. But I love you guys. This was so fun, and I really appreciate all of you for being here to see. It was a really great debate, actually. It was I didn't have to get mad at anyone, and nobody interrupted, and they had a different level conversation than what we normally have with the objective versus subjective bullshittery. So it was really good to see that and see a whole new conversation happen. But I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. Good night.
Hey, Ben, I'm fixing to get off too. So if I can just add just one quick thing, because I came up here specifically for.
That's what she said.
She said that shit too.
Damn it. All right. So if this was a 1v1 debate with Zers and somebody else, it would instantly be bad faith. Myself and at least 2 other people playing bed gave the definition.
Hello. Welcome
Zers
back.
refused.
So let me get a drink of coffee real quick. And no, I'm not sorry I took off. So what happened was I got a call from the person who owns the phone. Well, first I called his brother, and then I called the last night. There was another number that I missed. He's had several telemarketers which called, so I didn't want to just keep answering numbers. I walked as fast as I could, by the way. I'm a little out of breath. So, I went over there on the way over. So earlier in the early morning, I had looked at a couple of his text messages from the person who I was in contact with, his brother, and one of the things had a picture of him. So as I was walking out there to hand him the phone, I could see exactly who I was going to. I knew it. I could see the person whose pictures are in the phone, or who's at least one picture, was most certainly this dude. And he looked a little more cleaned up. Now, he told me a story. He wanted to talk to me a bit. Now, his brother offered me some money, and I told his brother, no, I'm good on all that. I just want to make sure the guy gets his phone back. And So when I went over there, he's telling me how he's lost like he's either lost or had stolen like 3 different phones, and you know, he's explaining that he's had some hard knocks and right now he's homeless, and I could clearly tell that he was, but he didn't look like a horrible, you know, just like bad. He just, you know, looked like maybe he's had a little bit of a hard time. And he had like 30 bags over there in the corner, and he kept like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get a cigarette and come over here and talk to me." And I'm like, "Okay, I got a few minutes, you know. I just want to make sure you had your phone and whatnot." And he's like, "Well, I'll give you." And I'm like, "No, man, look, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If anything, I'll get some karma from it." Now, I was asking them if this is a moral act. Now, I could see written all over him. I could just see how happy he was to have that phone back. You know, when you're leaning your body forward as you tell somebody thank you, almost in a bow. It's a natural body language reaction. He was ecstatic. And you know, when it comes down to was it moral? Hell yeah, I feel moral as hell right now. I'm sorry if none of you guys like it, but I am freaking stoked. No, I'm kidding. I am so glad that I did a good deed. You know, you should strive every day to try to do at least one good deed, even if it's just as simple as making somebody smile. You know, like, for example, the other day I was getting eggs at the grocery store, and this guy and his old lady were, I'm assuming old lady, were walking by, and she said, I had just picked up a 12-pack of eggs and put them in my cart, and she says, "Oh, do you want to get some eggs, dear?" And I quickly answered, "No, I just got some." And she looked at me like completely stunned, and her husband just broke out laughing. And then she realized it was a joke, and she broke out laughing, and that was just good. Afterwards, we all left that aisle happy. And we might have just been sitting there bored or mad, but we all left happy.
To give the definition of objective, that's literally the bad faith argument.
Well, he's more attacking the God aspect of the argument. So he's not really attacking the morality aspect, because the God aspect is in there. And so he's saying he's got his own code of morality.
Oh, is this when they were asking questions about me while I went out to have a cigarette? That's funny. I think I made it very clear there that, hey, I'm going to go have a smoke.
Morality. Why does he need a God in order to have that code of morality? He doesn't even believe in your God. Why does he have morality?
Well, I didn't actually on that. Balderson is right. Balderson is 100% right in his description, except for the fact that I'm not claiming either way if God exists or not exists. I'm simply saying that it was a moral act that didn't require the hand of God.
Right. I agree. I'm sorry. I agree with that statement. You're absolutely correct. But I think we can all agree there is subjective morality, whether or not that's from God or us. That's why the prompt is literally stated objective. Subjective morality really wouldn't be much of a debate.
Right, that's what I've been arguing all along, is we can just go ahead and remove both objective and subjective. We can debate those on their own. They can actually be debated on their own. Is reality subjective or objective? Is reason subjective or objective? Is evolution subjective or objective? All of those things we can independently argue. However, the simple laws of logic require that we remove reason. Why? Because it's just kind of extra space on top of the subject. Evolution. Why? Again, the same reason. Natural law. Objective. And we can then pinpoint identify the topic, which I repeat is morality can exist without God. Now, that's not saying does God exist or not exist. It's simply saying the thing morality itself can exist without this thing.
I get what you're coming from. But yeah, I'm fixing to get off, man. I got 3 kids. They need to go to school in 4 fucking hours. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing up right now.
Always love having you, Kraut.
I appreciate that, bro.
By the way, it goes
Right,
all
right.
sideways
So we're on
from
Balderson's
here.
channel now?
Yeah, we're on Balderson's channel. So from here, it takes a left turn, goes past the barn, gets kicked by the goat. The goat falls, or you fall over and stumble back around the wrong side of the barn and get kicked by the horse.
Oh shit, ladies
Sorry, alpaca.
and gentlemen, you have entered the Jarl Balderson's chambers of the one true God, master of the many gods, including yours. The All-Father himself. Bow your fucking heads, including you, Zeus. Because the All-Father doesn't need to believe that you believe in him for him to exist and to give you belief to have the exercise of the free will to not believe.
Do you hear the war drums?
Exactly. Do you like my title that I got on since I'm not a PhD? I'm a GWGHP, Grand Wizard, Grand High Poobah. Way better than PhD.
Hey, Zeus, you say the whole God problem. You have a problem. Do you believe that like non-being has a causal power?
Calder's own. I like it, Endeavor. I like that actually.
Yeah, I was at this point still out having a cigarette. I couldn't really answer that question.
Can we bring up Fort's chat?
Yeah. My bad.
Because I have something for him.
Oh, you got something for him. There we go.
You want me to read it? I got you.
Yeah.
It says, play call 25 years, 1 lifetime. Now considering this, do you really believe that mankind is only 240 regenerations per individual, as 80 times 25 equals 2,000 years? Methinks not so young, 1,000-fold more accurate. Sir, there are 8.3 billion people on the planet right now. In 1900, there were 1.6 billion. Do the math on that. Okay. Like the ability to regenerate populations is easy. Okay, it's super easy. We fuck like rabbits, for real. So yeah, I am sticking to my 6,000-year-old model, sir, because ultimately you can sit here and claim, well, it couldn't possibly be this many people on the planet in only 6,000 years, sir. It is 8 times as many right now compared to 1900, right? And it's 8.3. Do the math on that.
Do you believe there's 8.3 billion people actually? I think it's a lie.
I mean,
do you know the population equation?
8.31.
Let's say it's 7 billion. Okay, I'll take $1.5 billion away. 7 billion. Okay.
I think it's there's a lot of information right now from this one woman who I guess a professor or mathematician or something pertaining to China, and she was saying that there's less than 500 million Chinese people, but they have on record like 1.2 billion, and it's all based off of making fake.
If anybody wants to see that, she was on Danny Jones' show.
I've heard that it's not as crazy as it sounds. CCP regularly alters numbers to make themselves look better or to hide certain things they don't want getting out.
No, if I was going to
their
make
COVID numbers were look at those numbers for the CCP. It's like, oh, we're totally perfect. Sure.
Yeah.
If I was going to make a pro-God argument on that, I would have to say that we look at a tree and we see multiple rings and we count the number of years, and we can actually watch a tree throughout its life cycle grow and count the rings. And then we see a tree that's thousands of years, and it argues against the 6,000-year argument. There's nothing that says that a creator couldn't have created that tree with rings that show thousands of years.
There's other ways to test that.
I got a question. Do you believe that truth is objective? Is there an objective truth?
Oh yeah. No, as
this-
far as quantify,
This part's funny. I answer it like 3 different times. No.
I did use the wrong word there. I will admit to being wrong word there. I believe there's truth. I don't know if I can describe it as objective because I can't measure or weigh that truth. It's
you
not a thing
exist?
that I can. Sure,
Okay, well,
I
you can.
exist, but do my words physically exist, or are they gone at the
that
moment?
doesn't
And I
matter.
can
Do you-
have them recorded, of course, but in our reality, without
Very good
the
at moving
digital
the
form.
goalposts.
You're creating your own meta. You're creating your own meta. Like you're arguing against yourself.
Okay.
The question: do you believe you? Okay, I'll use
I believe I
myself.
exist.
Okay, I believe I exist, and I believe that's true, and I believe that's an objective truth. Perhaps the only objective truth that I can say I know for sure exists
But is it?
is that I exist. And if you say, "How do you know?" Because I know I exist. You know, that's an objective truth. Do you believe the same thing about yourself?
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it's absolutely objective or if there could be a different interpretation of what our reality is.
Yes.
Okay, so we both, everyone probably agrees. If not, I don't even know why they would debate something. So here's the thing.
At all.
Okay,
I'm willing
so
to accept existence as a brute fact. That just
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay, or brute. Okay, brute fact, contingent, objective truth.
reality.
My point is that that truth being objective is contingent upon your existence as the current state of affairs, right? Meaning that if you die, you cannot say for sure that you would continue to exist objectively, right?
I have
Correct.
no way of saying. I mean,
We
we
don't
like
know,
to
I said.
believe what happened, right? And I'm
We don't
answering your
know.
question.
No, I said we don't know.
Right.
I'm not asking anyone who says they know, they don't know.
He said right, but anyway, go on.
We all know that no one actually knows, right? Only God knows, right, Clay? But here's my point. So if the question would be that
Only
why
God
do the question would be why do contingent truths hold
Come on up,
together
Chris.
rather than not, right? So if truth requires a necessary grounding, in this case, my existence to prove this objective truth, right? And it cannot fail as long as the state of affairs remain the same, then what is the thing that grounds that in the reality for me to even present it upon you?
So, are we referring to my statement that morality can be that it can be distinguished between good and bad?
The knowledge of existence.
No, this is two-part. The first one was, the first part was you said,
Oh, so it's a complete deflection. Okay. Anyway, I think I've already answered it the first time. Now we'll see if we can get the different answer the second time.
and you were talking about objective, and I'm saying you said you can't prove anything that objectively true, and I just showed you that you can clearly prove something objectively true. And the second part to that question,
Well, actually, you can't if you believe in the
Okay.
science, because the science describes you as molecules that are bound together, and there's molecule types that won't meet
And
with
10
others.
and
That's
10
why your
and 10
table
toes,
is different
and
than
10
you.
toes.
That
Yeah, and 10
when you
toes.
touch your table, you're not really
It's all
touching
part of
your
that same
table. You're
objective
just
truth.
touching
We're not
a
talking about
band
tables,
of
we're talking about
molecules,
existence.
which
You're actually
then breaks down that initial.
And that actually breaks down into like bosons and neutrons and all the ons.
Argument of am I
You're
actually
debating
here
against
or am I
Existence,
just
wave
a
function
particle
exists,
stream?
Mathematics exists.
Yeah, the gluons, bosons, neutrons. At some point, our reality is completely not what we think it is.
Going to
Something's
the
got
vat
to
in the
exist,
brain.
bro.
You're going to the brain in the vat stuff. That you're trying to get too. You're trying to be too poetic with it.
Well, he's trying to say that it requires permanence in order for it to be real, and that's just not true.
No, I said
So-
under the current state of affairs, Baldur saying.
No, that's what he's saying though. That
Under
just-
our reality, it is most certainly.
Like, I definitely
solid.
agree that this is a bound together bunch of particles, 100%. And
course.
and I agree that that's impermanent, that this is a wooden table, and that at some point in time, this is going to go back into the component pieces that made it. I 100% agree. But that doesn't make this table less real. It just makes it impermanent.
But none of this necessarily answers if I can distinguish good from bad when I return.
You didn't
that
let me
phone.
get there, but that's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Hey, I tell you what, I think I am probably going to stop this tonight, and the next time I'm going to pick this up where Ant starts. As always, you guys are awesome. Remember, you don't have to be wise. Just don't submit to stupid. Thank you very much, and have a good day. I have no song picked, which doesn't matter. I'm going to pick the same one I started with. Bye, guys.
What's most stupid in the air? Never fear, Zazuza is here. It's time to break up the atmosphere. Hang out in your echo chambers. I don't care if I will bring some logic there. What fantasies can we derive? Let's make up things for YouTube viewers is my drive, but my words often divide. Nothing ever makes any sense. Things I can't conceive, though they are based in reality. From my mind, I must hide. It is my specialty. Well, trust me, but I deceive you. You know this, so you what I say must exist. Because the only thing left for you is to face reality. Reality. That this thing might real, so a fantasy I will make up just so I can deal. What can it be that changes all this? I know I will blame the government, but what is this? God or science has tossed in another wrench. Never fear, Zazuza is here. It's time to break up the atmosphere. Hang out in your echo chambers. I don't care if I will bring some logic there. What fantasies can we derive? Let's make up things for YouTube viewers. It's my drive, but my words often divide. Nothing ever makes any sense. Things I can't conceive, though they are based in reality. From my mind, I must hide. It is my specialty. You trust me, but I deceive you. You know this, but for you when I say it must exist. Because the only thing left for you is to face reality. It terrifies me that this thing might real. So a fantasy I will make up just so I can deal. What can it be that changes all this? I know I will blame the government, but what is this? God or science has tossed in another wrench. I just can't accept reality. An explanation I must see. So God has been changed by the authority. This is crazy, yes I know. It is why I run a show. Through all the lies and the bullshit, sometimes just a crazy nitwit. If I need to, I will go. Some think it's disrupting the show. I didn't pick the topic. You just don't like my logic. Never fear. Your flying penguin is here. This might hurt for the truth is near. My tactic might be a little off, but I have a way to get my point across. Sometimes it is better to just give it a simple soft toss.
Yeah, I got a little hot sitting in here. Want to get out and get some air.
In the dim glow of midnight
Breathe
screens,
oxygen.
Zazuza cloud skepticism keen stares down the rabbit hole, eyes ablaze, where shadows whisper secrets twisted. They've heard the whispers of lizard kings, flat earth maps, chemtrails hitting wings, but the mind is a fortress, walls of fact, built on broken logic, unyielding pact. Against the tides of misinformation, they stand a lighthouse on jagged shores of quicksand. They'll chalk the stars, debunk the moon's sway. The truth was the compass guiding their way. Informs dark or echo chambers pride. They will bottoms where the sharp and alive. Conspiracy theorists hurl wild claims, yet our penguin counters with evidence flames. Terrifies to be a lure of the fringe, where secret society stands, shadows binge, but they'll sift through data, past the noise, unmask illusions, expose the decoy. In sick basements where theorists huddle, they'll emerge a penguin ready to muddle the murky waters of half-baked tales. With reason's sword, they'll pierce the veils. They'll debate moon landings over coffee cups, while sipping skepticism from Trump's chalice. For every YouTube guru peddling lies, they'll pull out research, facts that rise. Never fear, the skeptic bend when my sword put you by his side. They'll tilt their windmills, chops with memes, their landslide. This and twist streets, and so are penguins. There's a cognitive dissonance, a loss of reason against the time's insistence. For truth, my friend, isn't always feature grand. Such a quiet whisper in a noisy land.
You are no match for me, Organic. We'll see about that, you overgrown toaster! Not if I squish you first! Witness my power.